Hey guys, I want to shoot a quick video here. This is the Gen 6 454 for the 25-foot Corsair, and I've got the block cleaned up, ready for assembly, and I just want to run through some of this for the client. It's pretty much flawless. I mean, it's super clean. I ran through the cylinders again with a 220 grit flex hone in reverse. Just to make sure that the plateau was knocked off, and then I cleaned all the cylinders out. Everything's I flushed it again just to be safe. I won't get too long-winded with this video because my camera is basically overloaded with I don't know, data, and it's cutting the videos off within like 2 minutes. So unfortunately, any videos from here are going to be really short. So I'm going to flip it over. I just set the crank and wanted to do a rotational mass test with that and show how well it's working. I was going to try to video the whole assembly of the crank and you know, the rods and everything, and it's just impossible working by yourself. Plus, quite frankly, I didn't want the distraction. I didn't want to feel like I was being stared at, and because I can be pretty slow at times. But long story short, I did take some pictures because I don't trust the camera because of the fact that it's probably going to cut off here in just a minute. But I took some nice pictures of the assembly and the new bearings, and the fact that I always use this Engine Pro assembly lube, the high zinc. This is awesome stuff. I've used it on all of my engines. And long story short, I'm just going to do a real quick rotation here in a second, but it's just turning over perfectly. Absolutely no issues whatsoever. Already set the end play. I think it's about 5 thousandths. It was a rough measurement a little while ago, but I could feel it moving. But what I'm going to do here is just show the ease by which it's actually turning over. I mean, obviously from a standstill, just a real gentle push, and you can see it's turning over very nice, very nice. And stop, start back, see how it keeps rolling. That's real cool. See how it keeps rolling. I knew that was going to happen. But anyway, where I'm going with this is, you know, wherever you stop, you start right back up with effort. You know, look at that, it's just falling. It's by the weight of the wrench. How cool. So anyway, turning over very nicely, and really happy with it. So I'm going to end the video there. Oh, the cam. Sorry, I don't know if you can see it. Cam's in place. That's basically a 502 cam. So got a little bit extended duration. It's going to be a torque monster. So this is going to be an awesome build, and I'll skip going into the details about any of the build because, again, I don't trust the camera because of the data usage. I'm afraid it's going to cut off on me. So cam's in there. Obviously it's not connected on the front yet. I'm about to start doing the pistons, installing the pistons on top of the rods. Very briefly, I don't like to connect this cam, any of this timing assembly yet, because I like to rotate. I like to install all the piston assemblies first, because the fewer times I turn over that cam, the less I squeeze out of any assembly lube that I have in there. So the very last thing I do is, you know, time the engine, and then as I'm turning the engine over, the cam basically probably didn't get turned over more than 8 or 10 times. But if you go ahead and connect this now, the cam is going to get turned over literally another 15 or 20 times as you're rotating through the installation of the piston assemblies. So anyway, she's nice and clean and ready to build. Thanks.